will start at attack. Danny Quist, Trent Burke, Toby Tranby. In the midfield, it'll be Brady Herzog, Nolan Hazelwood, the captain, and Asher Osi at long stick midi. Defensively, it'll be Jack Swadeback, Jack Smolik, and Lamari Brown. And then Tommy Scramstad, the other captain, who's being looked at by such Division I programs as Cleveland State. The junior, who's been a starter since his 8th grade year, will be in between the sticks tonight, in between the pipes, here at Cardinals Stadium. So it should be a pretty competitive game between these two teams. SLPCR in the traditional white uniforms with the royal blue lettering and numbers, white helmets.
Hello.
As the two teams line up across from each other at midfield. Bengals, meanwhile, in those chrome metallic helmets, white shorts, navy blue jerseys, white lettering, and sky blue numerals. Pretty sharp look for both teams as the two goalies touch gloves at midfield, and we're set to face off here on this cool and rainy evening. Hopefully the rain stays away for the most part, but shouldn't affect play too much here on this turf field. And Michael Aber, as you take a look at Tommy Scramstad, he'll need to play a big game for the Catbirds to stay in this one. And on the other side, Rylan Dickinson, who played football this fall, big-time safety, and also a long-time goalie. Michael Aber rakes it back, and Blaine wins the opening face-off. Aber, one of the best in the state, bound for Division II Belmont Abbey in North Carolina as the Bengals get going offensively. Behind the net, this is Steven Axelrod controlling it. He'll bounce it up top to Mark Radke, who had 2 goals in this game last year. Jake Alfson dodging down the alley. The Bengals go to work here in the offensive end. Off a screen at X, they'll pass the defender on. Dodging down the alley, there's a shot, and it bounces wide. Bengals closest to it, so they'll retain possession. Early going here. Good shot from Mark Radke, who's a senior, one of the senior leaders on this Bengals team. Robert Crookshank operating at X. Lamari Brown watches him. Work it around to Weston Johnson. Just a freshman, seeing time on the field on that second midfield unit. The dodge from X, sharp angle shot. It hits a man out in front. Good block down there by Jack Swedback. Loose ball, however, picked up by Alex Crane. He feeds out on high. There's a shot, and it whistles high from number 27, Weston Johnson. Scramstad directing traffic here. Minute and a half gone by here in the first. Nice dodge from X. Fed out in front. Quick goal for Alex Crane, fed by Steven Axelrod. And Blaine takes an early 1-0 lead. We take a look at the replay. And indeed, it was Alex Crane with the quick stick. Alfson was in the neighborhood, but Crane gets the goal. So that goal coming at the 10:28 mark. Number 5 from number 4. With a Blaine with a 1-0 lead. And they win the face-off once again. Now they'll go back to Rylan Dickinson, who both goalies don't mind carrying the rock. 2 of the better ones in the conference here this evening. Noah Fish gets away through midfield on the clear. Blaine looking to increase its lead as Fish gets a touch. Now he'll wisely just go through X. So the thing about lacrosse, if you score get that face-off again, can be make it, take it in a hurry. Bat out on high, good job by Ethan Burnett to recover. He gets past one man, gets past another, rips a shot, and whistles high. Burnett with some nice moves to get free. And there is a penalty flag. So first EMO for Blaine tonight. And a sloppy play there as Danny Quist, the attackman, goes offside on that ride. You always have to have 3 players on one side of the field. And Quist probably tried to put on the brakes right at midfield but fell over the line, and he gets called for the offside. So now Blaine goes to work on the EMO. The extra man opportunity for the Bengals. And a chance for them to increase their lead. Pass behind, right to Lamari Brown. Now the speedy running back into the open field. Brown showing off his wheels. These two schools, as a flag goes down, so now both teams will be down a man, I think, as that was, I believe that's going to be contact to the head on the short stick midi. No, it is a slash.
Number 1-5, it's a slash. 1 minute.
Indeed, it is a slash on Radke. So now the Bengals will, or rather the Catbirds will put in the stick of Toby Tranby, who leads their team in goals with 10. For Crane, by the way, that was goal number 5 on the season. Shot in front loose. Dickinson tries to dig it out. Push with possession, keeps it down with SLPCR. Early going here. Blaine with a quick goal from Alex Crane for the 1-0 lead. This feels like one of those 10-8, 10-9 games. Shot from distance, handled by Dickinson.
What time's the penalty on it? What time's it over?
Tries to clear it. A pair of number 11s battling for the loose ball, and it goes out.
16 seconds? What? Wait, 16 seconds left. Wait.
So now the Bengals with the numbers advantage. SLP's penalty release, so technically Catbirds. And indeed, Alex Johnson, you can hear him barking from the sidelines, trying to keep it as the penalty expires. So neither team scores with the EMO. And that one jarred loose from the attacker Caleb Schwark. And so now it's SLPCR's turn to clear. Scramstad chucks it near side. Big hit delivered, but a good job by Jonas Nelson, the long stick, or excuse me, by Jack Schmolik, the long stick midi. He still got it. Bounce shot and a big save made by Dickinson. Now Dickinson in a ground ball battle. It goes out of play on the end line, and it goes back to Blaine. Alex Dollick, the best defender on this Blaine team. Committed to Division III Calvin in Michigan. As once again, a little bit of sloppiness in the early going from both teams. It's definitely something you can get in the sport of lacrosse. Just not taking care of the rock. And a big hello to my lovely wife, Ashley, who's tuning in tonight on YouTube. There's a turnover forced here. Steven Axelrod, the cradle, the bounce shot. Gobbled up comfortably by the netminder, Tommy Scramstad. Scramstad just watched it in. Not the biggest goaltender you'll see, but certainly comfortable as SLPCR goes to work on the offensive end. trailing by a goal midway through this first quarter. Nolan Hazelwood, one of the two co-captains, rolls it to Trenton Tyson, who's out of the box. Tyson with a step. Good recovery from behind, though, by Radke to knock it free. Battle for the loose ball. Ultimately won and recovered by Brody Herzog for the Catbirds. SLPCR in the white, Blaine in the navy blue. Big Nolan Hazelwood jogging it behind. Hazelwood committed to Division III Carthage College in Wisconsin. CCIW. Good slide there by the Bengals defense, forces the turnover, but it'll stay on this end as Trent Burke lost it. Hazelwood. He's got the short stick on him. Now it's Calvin Schnabel, or rather Talon Spaniel, who's watching it. Spaniel listed as an attackman, but playing defense today. Shot from distance by Devin Vossen. There's another shot, and this time Raylan Dickinson snags it. Second save of the game for Dickinson. And you see Dickinson tight. Chucks it forward as they try to beat the press, the ride, as it were, of the Catbirds. Noah Fish attacks downhill against the short stick, gets his hands free and shoots it wide. Axelrod closest to it. Axelrod pretty quick from that X position. Alex Crane, who's got the lone goal. Schwark. Work near side for Burnett. Blaine has had the majority of the possession here in this first quarter, but it hasn't amounted to a big lead as they'll invert and take Gavin Christensen, the long pole, behind. Gets his hands free, missed the shot. Big check delivered. Lamari Brown grabs it, flag down on the play. Now Brown will charge forward. Just like hockey, it's sort of a delayed penalty sometimes until the other team touches the ball, like they did right there. Alex Crane forces the whistle. Cross check on Blaine. I think they're going to say it was Schwark. So Caleb Schwark committed the penalty down by the goal mouth, and the cross check, and his coach is even showing him, hey, you got to have both hands together when you're playing defense, because if the hands are separated, that's when they'll call the cross check. So SLPCR goes to work. Hoping to cash in on the EMO and tie this game. Out high they do, and it's Nolan Hazelwood who finds the back of the net, going low to high to beat Dickinson on the EMO. Catbirds tie it up through their most dangerous player, Nolan Hazelwood. For Hazelwood, his 8th goal of the season, his team leading 15th point. So the penalty comes back to bite SLP. Or rather Blaine. SLP cashes in. They win the face-off once more. Aber, what a save, a kick save and a beauty from Tommy Scramstad. Fantastic from Scramstad after Blaine had won a third face-off, but they take the lead once more through Mark Radke. Radke responds and helps the Bengals regain the lead, 2-1. Aber, you see, and that's off the right knee of Scramstad, and then Radke gets it back, and that time there was nothing that Scramstad could do, so it's 2-1 Blaine. After SLP had tied it, Bengals retake the lead just 27 seconds later. Radke had 2 goals in this contest last year. He's got 1 tonight here late in the first quarter. Aber kicks it, picked up by the winger. That's 4 for 4 now on the faceoff. The best guys are 75 to 80%. The Bengals trying to pad that lead here late first quarter. Long pull of Jack Schmolik. Beg your pardon, that was Jonas Nelson. So now SLPCR with a shot and a save there by Rylan Dickinson. Dickinson will pump it ahead for his teammate Ethan Burnett. Just a minute left here in the opening quarter, a 2-1 Bengals lead. Jake Alfson tries to feed it behind for Axelrod. Ground balls can be complicated, but Lamari Brown comes away with it. He'll be one of the better ground ball guys on the Catbirds. Just an excellent athlete, obviously one of the better running backs in the area. Dickinson comes out, delivers a hard hit on Trent Burke. But a turnover ultimately forced. They're saying there was a flag down. As you see, Dickinson comes out and collides with Burke, and somehow Burke tries to get the shot off, loses the stick. But they're calling a penalty on the short stick for Blaine Emmett Witter, the senior.
Blue 1-4, cross check, up to the head. It's going to be a 1 minute non-releasable foul.
1 minute non-releasable on Witter. That's a big call. So what that means is SLPCR can score and the penalty won't be released. SLPCR wants to hold it so that they have possession to start the second quarter. Hazelwood dances back with it, and he will let time expire, so the Catbirds will start with the extra man opportunity in the second quarter after 1 period of play here from Coon Rapids. It's 2-1 Bengals here on CTN.
Okay, I have a couple good ones for you, Joe. How do football players stay cool? By standing next to the fans. What kind of tea do football players drink? Penalty. Why can't you football with pigs? They hog the ball.
Hazelwood, the goal scorer in the first quarter for SLPCR, and he'll start with the rock in his stick as we get going here in the second period. Bill Hupp flying solo tonight on CTN on this cool and overcast April evening. Alex Crane scored the first one for the Bengals to put them up 1-0, and they would regain the lead quickly after Hazelwood tied it on the EMO. SLPCR starts with the extra man here as we get going in the second quarter. Burke behind at X. Hazelwood dangerous in that shooter spot. They work it around. That shot misses. Burke's closest to it. Little fog is rolling in here now at Cardinal Stadium. Good feed trying to hit Brody Herzog. The ball's loose on the deck. Hazelwood comes up with it. He'll be watched by a long pole all night as he is the captain and one of the better players as that one's behind from Schnabel, and it goes out of play. Errant pass obviously results in a turnover. Toby Tranby couldn't handle it. Tranby leading goal scorer technically with 10 from the attack position. They'll put it in the stick of Michael Aber, one of the best face-off men in the state of Minnesota. Aber, also a good stick handler, obviously, and he gets it into the box. Aber inverts behind. Now they'll double the ball, trying to get it out of his hands. Penalty has been released, so we're back to even strength. There's a shot, and it goes wide. It rippled the net, but it looked like it would ripple the outside of the net. Good strength by Radke. And that bounce shot just went wide. Skramstad may have gotten a piece of that one. Radke, one of the biggest players on the field, maybe the biggest. Early going here, second quarter. Radke worked around back to X. We'll have two at X right now. Radke steps into one, bounces it wide of that right post, but Steven Axelrod closest to it. Axelrod and Crane play catch. Bounce shot, score! Robert Cruikshank gets on the board. Cruikshank, the junior attackman, had 2 goals against this Catbirds team last year, and he has one here tonight. Chopping wood after scoring that one. Assisted by Crane, who's now got a goal and an assist. Look at that little head feint, and then Cruikshank able to just step into him and rip it and score. So 3-1 Bengals. Robert Cruikshank, I don't know, just a good, strong name, good lacrosse name, as Aber makes it 5 for 5 at the faceoff spot. Aber. Shot, bounce shot off the post. Oh, it was so close there for Ethan Burdett. And it looked like Skramstad may have ticked it with his stick, but I think he was just a little behind it. And it just hit the post, so unlucky for Burnett. Nice spin move out of there by Smolik. We've got a 10-second call. Just like in basketball, you have 10 seconds to advance it into your opponent's box, and they couldn't do it. So it turns back over to the Bengals with Noah Fish handing for Caleb Schwark. Beautiful spin move in front, and Scramstad makes the save on Cruikshank. Tries to rake it back into his crease and is able to do so. Oh, bad turnover, finds its way to Crane. He patiently feeds a cutter. Axelrod, despite the crowd's pleas, decides to spin back away from the danger. Good recovery there by big number 42, Jack Sudbeck. Crane and Axelrod play catch. Possession is 9/10 of the law, or whatever that saying is in lacrosse, as you definitely don't want to force the issue if you don't have to and then give the ball back to your opponent. They'll invert, and Axelrod will attack. A little screen play. Up top here now for Weston Johnson. Behind for Alex Crane. There's a drive. It doesn't quite get to the netminder. Crane feeds a cutter, and that time they score. It's Crane to Cruikshank for a second time this quarter. Timeout SLPCR as they make it 4-1. And that is a pretty goal right there. 4-1 Blaine. Those goals coming 2 minutes and 11 seconds apart. Cruikshank, 2 goals against SLPCR last year, 2 goals against them this year, and the Catbirds got to sort things out defensively. Just a little slow on those slides as their head coach, first-year head coach, Chris Tott. Tott, 4th season with the program. You see him there in the bottom left of your screen in the gray sweatshirt. First year as a head man of this team, of this program, but he is a 4th year of the program, with the program, so. As you take a look at the bench boss for this Catbirds program, guy on the other side for Blaine is Alex Johnson, and he is right there. He's in his 2nd season in charge of the Bengals. Aber trying to make it 6 for 6 at the faceoff spot. He pops it right to himself, and he does indeed go 6 for 6. He falls down and gets knocked down. Somehow from his backside, flips it up, and Blaine able to retain possession. Inside of 8 minutes to go before half, 4-1. All Bengals so far against the SLPCR Catbirds. Crane gets a step, tries to go near post. Scramstad makes the save. Axelrod recovers it. He'll back it out and play catch with Crane. Unofficially 3 saves, didn't save that one though. Bengals make it 5-1. What a goal there for the Bengals. Alex Crane gets his 2nd of the game. We take a look at it right here. Crane just at X, gets a step, low bounce shot, slips it. And that's just impressive. Kind of very, and he surprised. So an unassisted goal from Alex Crane. How about Crane? 2 goals and 2 assists here tonight. He's been involved in 4 of the 5 Blaine goals, and after SLPCR had tied it at 1 with 2:35 left, Blaine has scored the last 4. And they've broken this game open. But lacrosse is a game of runs, so certainly there's still plenty of time for SLPCR to recover. Hazelwood forced all the way back. He's going to be a marked man on this SLPCR team as he's the leading points getter, 15 on the season. Dancing through traffic, Burke loses it, and now Blaine recovers. Been all Bengals, and I think our field mics just picked up an ow from one of the players who got whacked on the arm. Bengals take a timeout to retain possession, as that was that was Alex Dalk, who took a lick on that left. I thought it was that right arm, but he got hit on both arms as he was trying to clear before they finally took a timeout. It seems to be almost favoring that left arm, but now it's the time of the Bengals and their head coach Alex Johnson as you take a look at the talented Dalk, who is going to be playing his lacrosse in Grand Rapids at Calvin. As you take a look at that left arm, he's got a nice bruise from getting hit. So, Bengals have it, trying to build on their lead. Johnson, former Centennial assistant coach in his 3rd year in charge of this Blaine program, but first year as a mustachioed coach, which does make all the difference. They put it in the stick of the speedy Noah Fish, and that fish can fly. Fish all the way, and Scramstad makes the save. It goes out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Bengals. Scramstad, 4th save of the evening. There's a shot and another goal. Bengals tally another one. Steven Axelrod gets his first of the game. And the Bengals have rattled off 5 in a row. And again, Crane providing. Good catch in front by Axelrod. Score 2 in less than 2 minutes. How about Crane tonight? 3 assists and 2 goals. So an unbelievable night for Alex Crane. And the attack in general has just been on fire for the Bengals. Aber rips it after winning another draw. Missed the net that time. Another feed out in front. And another shot, and Crane has a hat trick. Alex Crane, how about 3 goals and 3 assists in this first half? Or beg your pardon, that might be Radke who got that one. I looked up and saw the 5, but I might have missed the 1. Yep, it was Radke. I beg your pardon. Alex Radke, or Mark Radke rather, with his 2nd goal tonight. Sometimes in lacrosse, you're writing down who scored the last one. You miss the next one. 7-1 Blaine. Mark Radke with 2 tonight. He scored the first one and the latest one. There's a rip shot, and that goes wide from Talon Spaniel. Crane closest to it. 6:09 remaining. All Bengals here so far. Special thanks to all who are tuning in tonight, whether on YouTube or live. There's a step and a shot. Scramstad makes another save, including my lovely wife, Ashley, watching at our home. Lamari Brown spinning through traffic. Brown, kind of a one-man clearance. They need a goal quickly. Hazelwood rips one, doesn't get through. Ultimately hits Jonas Nelson and gets driven down. Hazelwood controlling with about 5 minutes to go here before half. What a game for this attack of the Bengals. In front, that time they score. Big number 19, the leading scorer, Toby Tranby, for this Catbirds team. For Tranby, 11th of the season, and that's how he scored most of them this year. Good feed from Hazelwood, who gets credited with the assist. Tranby from Hazelwood to make it 8-2. Beg your pardon. Blaine, unbelievable. 8 for 8. Which is not the reason they're winning this game necessarily, but it is helping. Spaniel rockets from distance, and Scramstad makes another comfortable save. 7-2 Bengals here. SLPCR, and that's the thing about that long distance shot from Spaniel as the Catbirds turn it over, is it just gives the ball right back to SLPCR instead of possessing and going through your attack, which has been so effective for this Blaine offense tonight. Between Robert Crookshank and Crane and the boys. Crane, Axelrod, those two inverted behind. Crane gets a step. Radke's been good. Crookshank has a couple. Nice defensive play there, though, by SLPCR to force the turnover. So Hazelwood will come back and take it because he's one of the toughest guys, and the guys you can really trust. It's just big as the pass fakes. Now they'll try to double him. And I believe, yep, Mark Tott called the timeout to retain possession. So 7-2 our score, 3:45 left. On a less than pleasant night. The rain steadily falling here, the umbrella's out. As Tott and his coaching staff discuss things. But what I was saying earlier is just that when you give easy saves to SLP or to yeah, SLPCR, Scramstad, when you allow him to make comfortable saves, then that just dulls your attack and you don't retain possession, and you end up having to play transition defense. Meanwhile, Coach Johnson, Alex Johnson, has to be pretty pleased with how his team is looking so far, as they scored 6 unanswered to take back a little bit. But it's been all Blaine, make no mistake about it. Hazelwood, as they try to double the ball with 2 long sticks, now they'll retreat. Hazelwood, knocked down, goal line extended. Finally a flag flies with contact to the head. They'll throw it out top. Burke trying to get there first and does. It's a delayed penalty coming up, and now we've got an injured Bengal, so they'll stop play. And that's going to be tough if that's Dalk, as he was injured earlier. Not the most pleasant game to ref, but, you know, they got their rain gear and they're dealing with it as Coach Tock comes over. And that is indeed Dalk, who's been whacked. He's watching Hazelwood. And I believe they called that hit to the head. And then, woo, that cleat, oh, wow, whoa, oh. That cleat got somewhere you don't want it to. And so Hazelwood, or rather Dalk, seems to be walking off. But now the refs are talking about things. And we'll see what's announced here. Dalk is the one who is the guilty party. We'll see if he comes back in the game, but /minute penalty on the big defenseman.
I went like this, he went kicked in the nuts.
Great job by our camera crew to and our mics to pick up that conversation. They fake it with Burke. There's a shot from distance. All the Blaine players thought that number 7 was carrying the rock. He was actually up top, and that worked like a charm. Hazelwood on the near side, the guy to watch, number 13. Burke initiates the offense.
AJ, no! Go inside!
It's a good matchup, though. Dalk and Hazelwood, pair of D3 players. Burke's shot goes off the side of the cage. He shoves it. Shoves the defender down there. Jonas Nelson trying to get there. No flags yet. Blaine ends up coming out with it. And were they able to get a timeout? They were. The possession-saving timeout saves A.J. Neese, junior defender. And it stops the clock with 2:36 left. And this has all of a sudden become the last 2 minutes of an NBA game with all the timeouts and the stoppages and whatnot. Bengals lead it 7-2 here on the road against the Catbirds, who are 1-4 this season, but they have played a rather tough schedule. Both teams have played perennial powerhouse Centennial. Rogers is good this year. Maple Grove, good as usual. As the Bengals talk things over. And they'll do a random stick check. They do this, and they'll take one stick from each team and check for an illegal stick. So the ball has to come out easily. It has to, when they hold up the pocket, it has to measure according to the regulations. And each team can request on another player. And if it is an illegal stick, it's, I believe, a 2-minute non-releasable. Dalk is still in the box. But you'll see the flag come out if it's an illegal stick. So far, it's not. It's in the possession of Noah Fish, the speedy clearance man for Blaine. Decides to sprint middle with it. They'll collapse on him and force the turnover. Good wrap check by Nolan Hazelwood. Hazelwood comes up with it. Bit of a scrum. Oh, nearly got rocked by Dalk. And we have a push with possession on Dalk, so he and Hazelwood have been going at it all night. We'll see if that continues, that battle continues. 2:10 left in the quarter, as Hazelwood will back it out and initiate the offense from up top. Hazelwood, little swim check. Draws a couple defenders. Now they'll try to pop it around. Not a good job by Blaine to recover defensively. They try to go back through Dickinson, and somehow that ball trickled into his stick. People losing tires all over the place. Axelrod will be whistled for that shove, so a push with possession gives it back to SLPCR with 1:30 to go. Catbirds with a chance to cut into this Blaine lead. They need more shots though. Hazelwood moves the middle. There's a shot, but it's too high. SLPCR closest to it as Hazelwood offside penalty. Meanwhile, they really rely on Hazelwood to do a lot. Hazelwood and Tranby, who's got the ball right now. Crookshank is called for the offside, so Blaine has not scored in the last 6:25, so they've definitely been held down after they popped 5 goals in 4 minutes early in the quarter. EMO here for SLPCR. They've already scored on it once. There's a shot that goes past the right post and out of play. Burke's been also heavily featured in the offense. Less than a minute to go here before half. Tranby to initiate. He's got one of the 2 Catbird goals. Burke, inside roll, shot saved. I think it may have actually hit a Blaine leg. Tranby recovers. Now directing traffic with 36 seconds left. They'll back it out here as Schnabel attacks downhill. Tries to feed Hazelwood. Out of play, Burke and Dickinson, and Burke closest to it. 21 seconds to go in the second. And we've got an illegal screen, and so Blaine with one more opportunity with 16 seconds to go. They'll try to cheap it forward. Radke, oh, dangerous pass. Somehow he recovers. He's got 2 goals tonight, 7 seconds left. Good step there by SLPCR. One last chance. They get a shot off as time expires, and they score! And they count it! It's Toby Tranby as the halftime whistle sounds. His second of the quarter, and SLPCR has cut the deficit to 4 as we've reached the halftime break. Great job getting it forward by Blake Mellum. And Tranby bounced it, went high on Dickinson to beat the halftime horn. And we've reached the end of the second quarter. Catbirds trail it as we reach the halftime break. 7-3 here on CTN.
As you know, CTN's on YouTube, and we're on in a big way. We have thousands of videos online to help you stay connected to Coon Rapids on any device, at home, or on the go. And it's because of your faithful viewership that we can celebrate 10,000 subscribers to the CTN YouTube page. Thank you for your support as we continue to keep you connected.
7-3 our score at halftime here at Cardinal Stadium in Coon Rapids. And no, it's not yawn-worthy. It's been an exciting game of lacrosse, particularly the way it ended for SLPCR. As we take a look at our first half highlights, and it started early for the Bengals. Alex Crane was the star of the show, but SLPCR would tie it on the power play by Nolan Hazelwood. And then Mark Radke would get the first of his two to quickly give the Bengals the lead. They'd scored 6 straight, highlighted by Alex Crane, who had 2 goals and 3 assists in that first half. Radke gets his second there. But SLPCR would respond. Toby Tranby with a goal to make it 7-2. And then, as the first half ended, he bounced one over Dickinson's head to make it 7-3. So SLPCR ends the first half with 2 goals to stem the momentum that Blaine had built up with 6 in a row. And that's how we stand at 7-3 as the Bengals get fired up to start this second half of action. Just kind of misty, cool night. Not the coldest, but cooler. And mist continues to fall. As Lamari Brown and the Catbirds defense gets ready to do their thing. Lamari with 4 ground balls in that first half and a bunch of clearances. Really nice first half for him. And like we said, Mark Radke with a couple goals, but that man, Alex Crane, 2 goals and 3 assists in that first half. The attack really had it humming for Blaine, but SLPR kept them off the scoreboard the last 6:37 of the second half, and that's how they're still in this ball game as Blaine goes to face off. Tough task for Brody Herzog, as once again Michael Aber wins the draw. 9 for 9 now for Aber as he takes a touch, and he'll feed Radke from the box. Radke on a hat trick himself. 2 Bengals with 2 goals apiece. Robert Cruikshank with a goal. When they had that 6-goal run, their offense was humming. This guy was pretty good in the first half as well. Steven Axelrod in the middle. Cruikshank fires it, and that goes wide. Cruikshank has 2 goals, I should say. He had the first 2, fed by Crane. Good hustle by Lamari Brown to get it back after that errant shot. Cruikshank on a hat trick as well. In a great job. We're going to give Ramstad credit for that save. His 7th of the game. So now SLPCR is trying to get back into it. They've been pretty good in transition. Toby Tranby with 2 of the 3 goals tonight. That one gets through everyone, and Rylan Dickinson says, "I'll take that." And then he tries to clear. A whistle stops play. And it's going to be Bengals ball. Alex Dalek. Good to see him back and healthy as Blaine goes to work on the offensive end. A dodge from X. Cruikshank. Bounce shot, scores! A hat trick for Robert Cruikshank. No one stepped to him. The slide didn't come, so he stepped into the shot and scored the goal. Robert Cruikshank with a hat trick after scoring twice against this Catbirds team last year. His patented chopping wood celebration, but you see Lamari Brown gets lost, and then nobody steps to him. Sudbeck as well. And Cruikshank was like, fine, I'll just bounce it or just fire it low past the goaltender. So with 10:21 to go in the third, that is another goal for Robert Cruikshank unassisted to make it 8-3 Blaine. Well, you just cannot have those kind of defensive errors with a team that has as many offensive weapons. I mean, there's guys all up and down this roster who can score for the Bengals. Cruikshank, the leading goal scorer for this Bengals team, he's now got 12. We haven't even mentioned the second leading scorer, Aiden Litke, who just committed to Division III Chatham. Tranby's shot goes right into the cross of Ryland Dickinson. Flips it. Dickinson played cornerback for the Bengals football team this year. Dahlk gets a touch and then throws it back on top to Ethan Burnett. Burnett with a nice spin. Burnett in front, scores! Ethan Burnett makes it 2 straight for Blaine to start the half, and they've once again extended their lead to 6. Burnett just squeezing, and he really beat Scramstad to it. Scramstad's got to come out more aggressively there. It's kind of a 50-50 ball, and then once Burnett had it on the doorstep, Scramstad was kind of without a chance. So Ethan Burnett accepting some kudos from his teammates as he just followed up with it and then scored. Kind of an unusual goal. 11 for 11 now from the face-off spot. Incredible. That's one of the reasons Catbirds are struggling in this game. It's just the dominance by Michael Hebert from that face-off spot. Bengals go back to work on the offensive end. Cruikshank wide open in front. Good recovery, though, by Sudbeck. Bengals content to work it around. There's a bounce shot low, scooped up, behind the back shot. Lamari Brown right on the doorstep to grab it. SLPCR trying to clear now with 8:05 left, and just taken away rudely. There's a shot. Scramstad makes a brilliant save, or that might have gone off the post. But Steven Axelrod, great physicality. As Axelrod just got into it, could have been a cross check, but no call. And then he rips it, and indeed Scramstad makes another fine save. 8 saves now for Scramstad, as once again the Catbirds trying to clear. 6-goal lead matches the largest of the game for Blaine, looking to pick up their 3rd win of the season. Both these teams, like we said, have played and lost to Powerhouse Centennial. SLPCR most recently 18-8. Oh, kind of a lazy pass, dangerous. A little casual out of the box, but fortunately it gets to its intended target, Trenton Tyson. He steps into one, and Dickinson makes the save. And Dickinson floats a lofty pass. It's the Bengals' turn to clear in a hurry. Crane. Oh, great job to knock it free. Now trying to play soccer with it. Finally the call as Jack Smolik, or Smolich rather, knocked it free. Yeah, just a little canoe battle, and then he knocked it away from Crane. As we go back to action here. And a goal. So Blaine gets goal number 10. And Noah Fish, the one credited with the goal for the Bengals. (10-3) now, Blaine. 3 straight to start the half. Largest lead of the game at 7. Aber pops it up. And he wins another one. Spaniel. Again, that is a long stick midi that wants to score in the worst way, but 3 shots and 3 turnovers as a result. Lamari Brown. Gives it to Nolan Hazelwood, who has really had to do everything. That poor kid. She's gotten beaten up tonight as he's tried to get some possession for SLPCR. Bengals have been relentless, and it turns over. As you see the goal by Nolan Fish, assisted by Alex Crane, his 4th helper of the night. So Crane now with 2 goals and 4 assists. And if you're wondering about the point totals now, Crane came in with 4 goals and 4 assists, so he has doubled his assist total, and he's increased his point total to double digits as a result. He's now got 6 goals and 8 assists this season. 10-3 Bengals here. It's been all Blaine in the 3rd quarter. So we're more than halfway through, and they've got a 10-3 lead. Feed out on high. Somehow it gets through. Back to Radke. Radke on a hat trick. Cruikshank has a hat trick. So is Crane. 3 multi-goal scorers here tonight for Blaine. Fat in front. Axelrod couldn't quite handle it. And Brown, as the whistle stops play. And just like that, they turn it over. Sudbeck not on the same page. Brown's been pretty solid tonight as he disrupts that pass. There's a shovel shot. Scramstad, I think, made the save. We're obviously up in the press box pretty far away. Cruikshank was going for goal number 4. Turnover stops the clock with 4:39 to play in the 3rd quarter. Once again, Nolan Hazelwood, who just does not come off the field. And he also inverts a lot because he's one of the players that they really, really trust with the ball in his stick for obvious reasons. He's a big, confident ball handler. Brody Herzog loses it. Herzog regains it momentarily, but again, that Blaine defense just relentless. Pushed with possession, so SLPCR bailed out. And they were able to retain possession. Could have been a hit to the head as he went down into a slash. They'll give it to Hazelwood, and he will back it out. He backs it out against Isaac Lindquist. Or rather, excuse me, that's Alex Dahlk, who has watched Hazelwood all night. Dahlk draws the opponent's toughest assignment. Tranby looking for a hat trick, missed the net. Berg tries to scoop it up. And I'm not sure how that stayed with the Catbirds, but it does. Berg, watched by Lindquist, shoots and misses, but Catbirds closest to it. Bengals clear the more traditional way, and then it's lost. Catbirds have done a nice job forcing turnovers in transition. Offside, though. Tranby whistled for an offside, so it'll give it back to Blaine, who can add to their 7-goal lead here late. It is really hard sometimes. EMO now for Blaine. Have not scored with the extra man yet tonight. Haven't needed it. 10-3, they lead it. They work it around now. Radke steps into one. He's got a hat trick. The second of the night for Blaine. Mark Radke with the extra man to make it 11-3 Bengals. Crane with another assist. As Radke stepped it, gripped it, and ripped it. First EMO goal for the Bengals, 11-3. They now lead it. They've got 4 here in the quarter as he chats to Aiden Litke, who injured his foot. That's why the second leading scorer for the Bengals is not in there tonight. Man, they have not needed him, as it's been all Bengals except for that last part of the second quarter. Dickinson with a little bit of trouble. Gets away from Tranby and starts the clearance. 2:25 and counting left in the third, an 8-goal lead. Transition opportunity here. That one finds its way to the stick of Alex Crane. Fish missed the net. Ward called on Crane. First time we've seen that called tonight. And so now SLPCR will have a chance to clear with Scramstad going near side for Sudbeck. Cross-field pass and a dangerous one. Witter scoops it to himself. And they'll start the 10-second clock as Brown goes down. Witter trying to protect. Got to be careful there. Brown just shoved Witter to the ground, and then Witter tried to protect. And Brown, I believe, was called for a penalty. Yep, he's on a knee, the sophomore. Disagrees with the call, so another chance for Blaine to add to their lead. They've scored 4 here in the quarter. Last one was on the EMO, and they have another one right now. Obviously hurts the comeback efforts to put yourself in the box and a man down. About a minute to go here in the third quarter here at Cardinals Stadium. Trying to feed Crookshank. 2 hat tricks tonight, Crookshank and Radke. And Alex Crane with 2 goals and 5 assists. Brown through traffic. Try to get a shot off between defenders. Dickinson was closest to it. Chance again for Blaine with 10 seconds to go. Bengals in transition. And a de-wanding by Sudbeck. Knocked it right out of the hands of the Bengals player, Ethan Burnett. Time expires here in the third quarter. All Bengals in that third. They score 4 rather, and they lead it 11-3. Catbirds with some work to do in the fourth quarter when we come back here on CTN.
So Howie, did you know the term soccer actually came from England?
But don't the English call soccer football, like pretty much everyone else?
Yeah, but only after we started saying soccer and the world was mocking us for it.
So you're saying the UK set us up?
Yep, sabotage.
Brits. Watching your favorite Cardinal sports live is getting even easier. Whether it's CTN Cable Channel 859, the CTN Facebook and YouTube pages, or now live on our Twitter page. You choose how you want to watch Cardinal Nation. With CTN, you'll be able to catch all the big plays, all the emotion, and all the fun of Coon Rapids sports. CTN Coon Rapids, stay connected.
Blaine looking good after 3 quarters of play with an 11-3 lead here on the road against the SLPCR Catbirds and Nolan Hazelwood, who's got a goal and an assist tonight. But Blaine defensively has been pretty locked down, and then offensively, guys like Alex Crane with 2 goals and 5 assists have been stout in front of netminder Rylan Dickinson, rather. And that guy, Michael Aber, has been on fire, trying to make it 13 of 13 at the faceoff spot tonight. Pops it forward and scoops it up. Belmont Abbey's getting a good one next year. Errant pass, though. Good job by SLP to force the turnover. Aber with that pink stick. 13 of 13. Tommy Scramstad has played pretty well, 9 saves unofficially, but he's obviously faced a barrage of shots. Bill Hupp for CTN tonight, filling in for Howie and Joe. Joe and Howie, of course, doing Sports Night in the CTN studios. Big collision, but it manages to find its way to Crane. He feeds in front and scores, and Alex Crane's got his 6th assist as he hits a cutting Steven Axelrod, and Axelrod with his 2nd. Blaine has scored 5 unanswered after the halftime break. 12-3. A great job in transition, and once that had broken down, Scramstad just had no chance, and a great job by Axelrod to finish with poise. 12-3 Bengals. This would be their largest victory of the season, as he's chatting with Scramstad. Look, I was all alone in front of you. Of course I was going to score. Aber, wow, I've never seen a more clean face-off win than that. 14 of 14, not to sound like a broken record, but that is just too impressive. Two goals and 5 assists now for Alex Crane. Low bounce shot by Fish, saved comfortably by Scramstad. Well, lacrosse is a game of runs, but SLPCR going to have to go on a big one. What pressure applied by the Bengals here, as they'll double up on Burke trying to get that loose ball, and they do. Lindquist takes a bump from Tranby, and now Blaine will have an EMO as soon as SLPCR touches the ball. Dickinson, he likes to do this, aggressively getting it forward. Delayed penalty coming up on the Catbirds. What a catch there by Fish in traffic. Low bounce shot, and that's a hat trick for Axelrod. And they still get the EMO. What a grab, though, by Fish to keep the play alive, and then Axelrod finished with a plum. So you see the penalty here. They hit to the head. And then Fish gets a step, feeds Axelrod, who bounces it past Scramstad for goal number 13. Axelrod has the last 2 goals, the only 2 of the fourth quarter. He's the 3rd player now with a hat trick. As they're trying to sort the penalty out. 13-3. All Blaine tonight. They have dominated the second half as Burke is on a knee in the box. Aber, another clean face-off win. Now the Bengals will really be content, you would think, to work some clock, try to take advantage of this. We got to be nearing running time if we're not there yet. As they'll work it around, and Radke's got his 4th. Mark Radke, 2 goals last year against the Catbirds. And 11 and 4 tonight, an 11-goal lead now for Blaine. Just a beautiful job of working it around. Another EMO goal. Sir? Okay. I would think that we would be, but who knows? So 14-3 our score with 9:32 to go. (16 of 16 now. Radke with 4 goals to lead all scorers. Blaine has scored 3 in this quarter, 7 in the half. And what was a 7-3 relatively competitive game is now 14-3. Cruikshank looking for his 4th. Scramstad said no. Blaine still possessing, always with a man behind at X. Now you'll start to see some of the benches empty with time running out. Hazelwood has picked up a long stick, a long pole, and he's out there throwing his weight around.
Oh, that's a headshot!
And now this is where the refs have to get things under control and not let tempers fray too much. Big check delivered right there near the sidelines. As Hazelwood, nothing dirty about it, but Hazelwood tried to go through Talon Spaniel, and then Spaniel laid the lumber. And Hazelwood obviously very frustrated given how tonight has gone. Ultimately, it is a penalty on Jacob Kohler. 12 goals, yeah. Clock is stopped with 8:07 left. .807 left in the fourth quarter. SLPCR trailing a very impressive looking Panther team. They only came into the game 2-4. SLP 1-4. They had, however, won 2 of their last 3. And so the Bengals, even without second leading scorer Aiden Litke, are playing well and really showed up tonight. Litke, you can see there on the crutches in the background. Catbirds, meanwhile, trying to figure some things out with their coaching staff. Robert Crookshank, 3 goals tonight. EMO opportunity here for the Bengals. They've already scored 3 times with the extra man, including a couple minutes ago. And we'll see, there's some debate about whether we're going to have a running clock. We'll see if they decide to continue to have the clock run on the scoreboard. As some JV players are out there now. Crane plays catch with Crookshank. And we'll see how aggressively Blaine tries to look to score. Crookshank will be patient, you would think. Really can play with either hand, and he gets it to Crane. Feeds it up top. Crane with some terrific vision. 5 assists tonight. Came into the game with 4 all season, and he has 5 tonight. Once again, Nolan Hazelwood comes out of it with a ground ball. Now a transition opportunity. Toby Tranby on a hat trick. Catbirds looking to do some damage now. They'll back it out as Blake Mellum feeds Tranby on the doorstep. Big save made by a leaping Ryland Dickinson. Dickinson denies Tranby on the doorstep. 7:04 left in the fourth. Tranby looking for a hat trick, and Dickinson said no. Just popped up and got him. Fantastic save. 5th of the night now for Ryland Dickinson. Catbirds trying to find some silver lining to this game here as we're less than 7 minutes remaining. 14-3 our score. 7-0 run in the second half. Tranby for Hazelwood, who is coming off, getting a long pole coming off and then having the short stick. He's doing everything tonight. Ball pops loose. Tranby will collect near the end line. And he goes out of bounds. It turns over. Tranby thought there should have been a push. So Dalk will go through Dickinson. Player down couple players down. Boy, Dalk has just had a rough time of it tonight. Dalk is down, clutching his side there, as you can see. Calvin Schnabel was down momentarily. Ooh. Some sticks got up in the wrong places there. Up near the neck. Back to action we go. As Tranby on a hat trick. Feeds Hazelwood. He rips a shot. They really need that, you know, the pick play to get Hazelwood free. And he is the guy that you want to have with the rock. Burke rather. Gets it to Hazelwood, who backs it out. He's not afraid to pass it either. He's definitely an unselfish player for being so important. Burke behind X. I'd like to see him try to attack here. He does. And the shot missed. Closest to it, though. Hazelwood just going to be exhausted and bruised after this game. Burke just using the cage, but a good slide there by Blaine. Make sure he didn't get too far above goal line extended. Hazelwood hits a cutting Tranby, and they connect once more. SLPCR gets on the board for the first time here in the second half, and it's a hat trick for Toby Tranby. Second assist of the game for Hazelwood. (19) assisted by 13. A nice catch just ahead of Dalk, and went 5-hole, bouncing it past the new netminder for Blaine, which is Isaac Lindquist. 14-4 our score. And for the first time tonight, they win a face-off, and I believe Aber is out. So they have called off the Dogs, but 16 of 17, still pretty good from the Bengals. Hazelwood trying to split defenders and does, and somehow misses the net. You can see he's frustrated as he just could not bring the shot down. Toby Tranby with a hat trick tonight. He's now up to 13 goals for the season with 1 assist. Hazelwood, meanwhile, he came in with 7 goals and 7 assists. He's got 8 goals and 9 assists now. I love the backup defender, Jack Noyes. Me? What did I do? That's gonna get called every time. Noyes on a knee. Cannot get the stick caught up like that. (14-4), a 10-goal lead. We've settled on 12 goals as the amount for a running clock. Late here, fourth quarter. Hazelwood at X quickly draws the slide, and it goes right into the crease for Lindquist. Blaine coming in 2-4 on the season. They will play Edina, Anoka, and then Rogers. So pretty abbreviated schedule. Good defense there. Tranby able to recover. So they've got a tough one coming up, hosting Edina, one of the best teams in the state. 3-1 on the season is Edina. Meanwhile, Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids will fall to 1-5 on the season. Well, that was nearly a turnover. Or that was a turnover. The shot goes wide. They will visit Osseo Park Center on Wednesday. The Catbirds will, as that's saved, and now Blaine takes it out. 3 minutes left to go. A couple road games against Osseo Park Center and Forest Lake coming up. Transition here. That's behind its intended target and out of play. And then they'll finish up with 2 home games at Spring Lake Park High School against Champlin Park and then Simley. So amazingly, more than halfway through the schedule. Seemed like they've played fewer games than in years past. Well defended there. Nicely done by Jack Smolik. He's had a nice game, and he's got a goal. Not going to celebrate too much, trailing 14-4. Make that 14-5, but he does get a goal. Jack Smolich scores here in the fourth quarter. That's 2 in a row for the Catbirds now. 2:28 left. 14-5. This one's been long decided. Aber back out there, wins another one. Bengals will try to add to their lead. There's a bounce shot. Scramstad still out there. Good coverage for behind for the Bengals. So the Bengals will improve their mark to 3-4 on the season. SLPCR falling to 1-5. Back it out here. Axelrod's had a good game. And he gets one more. Steven Axelrod, and the bench goes wild for him. Oh, I beg your pardon. That's a JV goal for the Bengals. Gavin Chris, nope, that's not right. Hang on a second, consulting my roster. I don't have a number 9. Well, number 9 scored for the Bengals. Apologies to that young man, not on the varsity roster, not listed. 15-5, he looks young. But that was a nice goal. And no wonder they celebrated. 15-5. Raked forward once more. Aber, another face-off win. If you're keeping score at home tonight, unofficially 18 of 19 for him. 1:41 left. Amari Brown, ever reliable clearance for SLPCR. Well, at least the rain has stopped. The rain has stopped here. It's gotten a little chillier, but it's ended up being a clear night and a nice one as Lamari Brown will get a goal. How about that for the Catbirds? Lamari Brown takes it down and then scores. And I have to check and see. That's his first goal of the season. How about that? Maybe get him an attackman stick. Had a step and scored. No slide came. Why not? Kid's got all kinds of athletic ability. Lindquist came out, dove at it, but could not get it. So Lamari Brown, his first goal of the season, to make it 15-6. Aber out there one more time to win one more draw. Well, who knows? The way this game's going, there might not be one more draw. More goals in this game than I thought there'd be. 8-6 last year in favor of Blaine. 15-6 now, as Aber tries to sneak one past Skramstad, and he makes his 12th save of the night. .40 seconds remaining. Toby Tranby, the offensive star of the show for SLPCR with a hat trick. Nolan Hazelwood with a goal and 2 assists. Kind of an ill-advised shot there. I thought he could have stepped into that one. Bengals will take over with 27 seconds remaining. Skramstad out one more time. 10 seconds to go as he races away from a hustling attack. Checks it forward. That'll do it here from Cardinal Stadium. Robert Cruikshank, 4 goals, 1 of 3. Bengals with a hat trick tonight. And Blaine scores 7 in the second half to pull away and win this one comfortably, 15-6 on the road. Let's take a look at our upcoming broadcast schedule here on CTN. See what Joe and Howie will bring you. Softball coming up, then a little boys volleyball, and Irondale will visit Cardinal Stadium next Monday night for a girls lacrosse matchup. Of course, you can catch all those games on ctncoonrapids.com or on our YouTube channel. So that'll do it for us here from Cardinal Stadium. For Director Joel Sipper, Ted LaRue, Mike Peterson, and our entire fantastic, and Mike Burlingame, and our entire fantastic CTN Coon Rapids crew, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from Cardinal Stadium. SLPCR falls in a tough one to the Blaine Bengals. The final score, 15-6.